State. They didn't give him much of a spot either. They still need about 1.5 yards. They'll throw for it. It's caught. First catch of the day by a true freshman, Clinton Solomon. And he has the first down yardage at the 24.
That first down in college football stops the clock, and we're seeing excellent poise here by Brad Banks.
Banks out of the gun. Again for Solomon. And not much this time, only 4 yards.
Don't forget how many times you see a drive like this. The team scores with about a minute on the clock. An onside kick, they get the ball, they go down and score again, and before you know it, they're back in control. I'll guarantee you they're not quitting.
Not much time left for any more 4-yard patterns.
No. If you're going to do that, get out of bounds.
Time to get serious. Banks looking end zone. And caught by Brown. Reaches for the goal line. Got it. Touchdown, Maurice Brown. And Iowa is not dead.
Kind of like that.
Kind of like that.
Coach Barnett. Yes, sir.
What a great job of Banks hanging in the pocket and gunning it right down the middle of the field. That's a fantastic job. Stands in, steps, and just fires that ball. Look at Brown, gets it now. He says he sees that goal line. He says, gang, I am getting it over the line. That is determination right there. Great job.
Kading still has not missed a kick all year, field goal or point after. And now we'll see how they are on the onside kick as they cut it down to 5.
In a real rivalry, when the men are just absolutely determined to win, there's a never give up thing that is so much fun to watch. You have to admire the Iowa football team after all the adversity. Look at this throw and catch. That's great concentration. The college rule is when that ball breaks the plane, the location of the football when the knee touches, that's what determines whether or not it's a touchdown, and that was a touchdown.
And it was a team touchdown there. Great protection by the O-line as Coach Ferentz says, okay, onside kick, we'll get in there, and Coach McCarney saying, hey, that's why I told you guys, there's plenty of game left. This team can come back. Now the onside kick, Bill. The fun onside kick. How often does a kicker work on the? I know you get your special team periods, but what do you?
Let me interrupt you. Every single day,
but
you take your kickers over and you work on these kicks every day. Here's Seneca on the hands team. I lost a real good quarterback having him on the hands team one time, but I wouldn't mind seeing Seneca out there. He's liable to hit it up if it comes his way. You just don't want him to have a chance to hit him. Now, this is the kind of thing that you coach the kicker such that the ball takes 2 little skips and pops up in the air when it's done just right. And about the time it gets there, so do your guys.
So Kading looks for the big hop, and it goes right to Danielson. And he hangs on at the bottom of that pile at midfield.
You're absolutely right, Bill. I know that. Remember going through, it's exactly how you want to do it. That didn't happen there. Skipped along the ground, didn't get that high pop, and a great job scooping the ball.
You got to be aggressive and go for it. That's what Lane Danielson did. I think he bobbled it around a little bit, but he did end up with it. I used to play up there in the front, and it's not a good feeling when it comes to you. Of course, I wasn't a receiver either.
But you know you're going to get hit. No doubt about it. They're going to light you up.
He's got a scholarship for hanging on to the ball. So of course, he had to earn his scholarship.
Yes, he did.
He's yet another one of those walk-ons. He's also a 420 bench presser, and that kind of strength would be much appreciated by my pop, who's a lifelong strength coach. He'd love to hear about a guy that gets in the weight room, one of those wide receivers that benches 420. That's nice.
So now all the Cyclones have to do is what they do best, and that is hang on to the ball and whether one more Iowa timeout. They give to Rutland. He gets maybe 1 yard, and here comes the timeout with 1:15. And if they hang on for another 1:15, they will take back to Ames the Cy-Hawk Trophy.
Now they're going to have to make a first down to finish this job. They can't just kneel down every play and run it out.
So when we're done here, as we've been telling you, we've got Louisville and Colorado State just about teed up and ready to go in Fort Collins. And let's look in there right now.
All right, Dave, and Bradley Van Pelt, the man that most of us have dubbed the toughest quarterback in America. got the longest hair, perhaps. Getting ready to lead the Rams against Dave Ragone and the Cardinals at the bottom of the hour.
Well, I have to go a ways to top this one. Well, again, I can't remember a game that turned so completely, so quickly from 24-7 Iowa at the half, the way Iowa State took over things in the third quarter. Michelle?
Dave, you were talking about the trophy they're playing for. Let's talk about another trophy, the Heisman Trophy. Remember Joey Harrington's campaign in Times Square, the big painting? Well, Iowa State, when it comes to Seneca Wallace, says we didn't have enough money for that. So we're going to put him on the Sphinx in Egypt. We're going to hang his poster from the Eiffel Tower, from the Leaning Tower of Pisa. You know, in the first half of this game, it looked like Seneca Wallace's Heisman campaign was over, but it looks alive here in the second.
Yeah, you know, everybody has their Heisman candidate, and at some point it all gets lost in the wash. But if people really pay attention to this kid that they've got in Ames this year, I don't know what else you're looking for.
He's the real deal. The only other thing I would have looked for is if he had stayed in bounds both those plays in the previous series, this game would be over. And his coaches would be very happy about that because they're not going to be able to make this run out. I mean, Iowa's going to get the ball back unless they make a first down.
There you go. You're being a coach. Look at that fantastic game, and you're yelling at the kid. You're mad at him. You're mad at him.
I love him. I love him, but I can't help pointing those things out.
Tough love. Rutland. And 30 seconds.
Well, they got to wait for the ref.
Depends on where they mark the ball.
Nope, it's
Play
over.
clock has not started. It is going to be over.
They did get it run out by less than a second. Normally they'll mark it quicker than that in a situation like this, but they were a little deliberate, and hence the game is over. So
Dan McCarney has done it again. They'll take the Cy Hawk Trophy back to Ames 5 in a row over his former cohort here in Iowa City, Kirk Ferentz, 36-31 with a 23-0 third quarter. Iowa State turned the deficit into another victory over the Hawkeyes. For Mike Golish, Bill Curry, Michelle Tafoya, Dave Barnett, this has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Back to the studio.
All right, Dave, and for the 5th year in a row, the Cy Hawk is going back to Ames